Previously on Fishing Squad, we fished Storm Darra in the eye of the storm in part 1. Please check out part 1 for a reminder of where we're at going into part 2. Welcome to Fishing Squad, welcome to the Christmas special part 2. Right, so carrying on from part 1, we made it to Pwllheli. They have power in Pwllheli. They have kebabs in Pwllheli. Hot food in Pwllheli. So I'm quite happy about that, as you can obviously imagine. I don't think we're going to get put back on the grid at Aberdaron until tomorrow. So that means going back now, picked a few suppliers up because Asda are open. Old Crafty Hen, 2 bottles of, got some crisps, pepperamis, some chocolate and what have you. So I didn't bring any of that type of thing with me. So we're going to be plenty of stuff to keep us going while we're off the grid. And we're going to go back, have a couple of beers, have some nibbles as well. So I'm sure I'll still be hungry after this kebab. Got chicken kebab that way. From Peckish. Highly recommend Peckish in Pwllheli. Yeah, I'm going to go back, chill out for a bit, finish part 1's video, the editing and stuff, chill out for a bit in the dark, and then get to bed for about 8, 9 o'clock. It's 4:30 now. I'm going to be up about 1:30, 2, and I'm going on to Deepwater Rockmark. The wind swung round north, so it should be safe as houses. Not dealing with what I was dealing with earlier. And hopefully we'll get some fish. I'm going to fish big. And just give it a really good go. Yeah. I think we've got a chance tonight at something decent. And there's dawn breaks as well. So, we'll first eye up on the legs. If we have to drop down to land fish, we can do. Because it's the water meets like the lower ledge quite equal. To be fair, if it's not too rough and I can get on the bottom ledge, I will fish the bottom ledge, but I'm not going to push my luck, especially in darkness. So that might be as dawn breaks, we'll drop onto the bottom ledge for the last couple of hours at session. There should be some congers and us about, surely. Yeah, so I'm going to head back to Aberdaron now and get ready for evening. I'll catch you in a bit. Right, guys, this is what we're dealing with. We've got making a flask ready for morning. In fact, we'll do that nearer the time. It's only 6 o'clock, not getting up till 3-ish, 2-ish. Got lights on, floodlight. Then we've got the nice little cosy fire. No electric, obviously, at the moment. We're just making do with what we've got. Just getting some stuff ready for morning. Got a beer on go. One of them old Crafty Hens. Just getting some rigs out ready. I'll take 10 pulleys, a couple of the running ledgers. I've made another rig, but I'll show you that if we use it. No point showing you it at the moment. So yeah, we'll get everything ready. Got some bait out ready in that bucket. It's still frozen as well, which is good because it's excuse me. Sorry, spinning. Yeah, it's still frozen, which is good because the freezer's been off for about 15 hours, I think now. So yeah, we'll get up. I think we'll get up about 1:30. So I've steady walk down, and see if we can get you some fish for camera. We've got plenty of mackerel, plenty of squid. Fully prepared. I'm going to be as comfortable as possible. Take a flask. Got some nibbles to take down with us. Really looking forward to it. You know, just hope the swells aren't too bad and stuff. I think they should be okay. But like I say, I don't take chances. I know you can look at me fishing in that storm today and say, "Oh, he's taking a chance," but I'm not because it was down where I was. And if the waves had been lapping up the rocks towards me, I wouldn't have been there. You know, I wouldn't have been back here. So But it ain't half boring when your electric's off and you're not fishing. So when you're here to fish, so I'm going to carry on getting stuff ready. Got a bit of In Excess on my Spotify. My Spotify still works. In Excess. I don't know if people like In Excess. I've been listening to a bit of In Excess for the last couple of months. I've heard the songs obviously before. I've actually got into the album a bit more and stuff, and I quite like them, to be fair. I don't know. I think the lead singer's dead into. And I've also been listening to a singer called Teddy Swims or something. I like some of his songs that have just come out. I don't really listen to many modern stuff. But yeah, the In Excess, when you haven't got a TV, it's better than silence. So I'm going to carry on getting my stuff ready. And I'll get up about 1, I think, make my flask, and head down, try and get some fish out, fingers crossed. Low tide's about 8. I'm going to fish until 10. From about, I think all in, by the time we get down there and stuff, it'll be about 3. We'll fish until 10, come off, back, quick tidy up, then off back to Doncaster. Decide I'll give myself an extra hour in bed because the wind's still howling, so we'll get up at 2 and get ready and head out. Hopefully after this big storm everything will be nice and churned up and it'll fish okay, fingers crossed. Right guys, we're down. Just tackle it first rod up. Simple running ledger we're putting out first. On my Ron Thompson with a Slosh 30. Just going to put a small mackerel squid bait out to start with because it's still dark. It's literally a bit of mackerel strip. It looks bigger than it actually is. And most of a small squid. It's the running ledger rig that I showed you at the start of part 1. 200 pound mono, power swivel onto my shock leader. I've got a shock leader on. Not that it's necessary, but we're fishing high up. I've got a 7-ounce lead to 25-pound weak link running freely up the main line. Like I say, this is a brilliant rig if you're just starting out rock fishing. You don't need to use a shock leader all the time, but obviously just think about it a bit depending on your conditions and where you're fishing, whatever. I could have got on the bottom ledge straight away because the sea's a lot calmer. It's pretty much flattened off, but because it's dark and I can't see where the waves are coming and we're still coming out of the storm Dara, I'll start up high, and if we need to drop down as it gets light, we can do. It's only a smallish tide, decreasing. So I'm going to flick this out, and I'll tackle my other rod up. I'll probably put a tote rig on the other one. But we'll just see how this fishes probably for 10 or 15 minutes to see what the tide's doing and what have you. So I'm going to cast this out, and hopefully some fish will show. Feeling confident. It's really churned up out there. We're in deep water, so I think there's a chance. Right, that one's out. Ron Thompson accelerator, I think 13.6, Slosh 30, and obviously, just in case, simple rig. And that rig will do me if I catch anything. I better get more fish on that rig than any other this morning. Right, next rig's a pulley rig, 210 AFW, half a mackerel, 700 Shaughnessy with a paperclip trick. You're not going to see it very well, but you get the gist. 7-ounce lead. Onto a Ron Thompson accelerator. Pen Battle 3, we'll get it cast out. I thought I had a bite on that other rig a minute ago. It's due a bait change anyway. I'm going to reel that in for a bait change. I did think I had a bite, but we'll see. It was like when I was feeding line through on the other rod, the rod spun round. I just touched the rod to put it back in place, and it felt like there was a bit of a knock, but it didn't materialise into it. It was difficult to tell whether it was that or me nudging rod rest with this other rod. Right, we'll fire this out, reel that other one in for a bait change. I'm not going to go through too many rigs or anything like that. That's just an example of what we're using tonight. I think you saw in part 1 anyway, you know what we're using. So, yeah, we need some fish. Right, I think I've just lost something decent. You know, when I said that rod had a bite, well, I reeled in for a bait change. It was snagged. I pulled the line for a break. It snapped the lead out. You know, the lead just dropped off. And there was some weight there. You know, could tell there's something on it. I've gone to make contact with it with the reel, lifted, and like I've had such a horrendous thud. I'm talking like the Ron Thompson rod just going boom, boom, like that. Carry on winding line. It's just well that thud. It's just come off the hook basically. Can't have been up properly, can it? With a 700 Shaughnessy's in its trap. Yeah. Can them paper clips have a detrimental effect on hooking fish? They shouldn't do, should they? Because they're quite soft. Well, that obviously sat there from that initial bite earlier. The only other fathomable thing could be is if we'd hooked something small like a rocklin, and when I've pulled, something's come and grabbed the rocklin and pulled it off the hook because there's no bait on my hook or anything like that. So that's the only other thing it could be. I originally thought that my shock leader knot had just parted because it were that much of an aggressive thud. If that were a conger, that'd have been a double figure one all day long. I'm sure it would have been. I think we'll see some congers this morning. So yeah, I've got both rods out now. Obviously, just having a brew. Lovely morning. Nice to be able to cast straight out as well. We didn't get down here till just after 4 because I had a bit longer in bed. I was tired last night. I couldn't sleep. It was weird last night because it was howling like mad, the wind on the cottage, and then it just like instantly dropped by 20 mile an hour or something like that, and it would just, like when it's blowing at 80 or whatever it was, it sounded like the roof had been took off, and I've hardly been able to sleep for the last 2 nights. But then from sort of midnight onwards last night, I managed to sleep. So yeah. Even though I've been solo, I haven't really felt like I've been away because I've been messaging people. Sorry for putting your head in, Paul. Whittling on. But, having people there when you're on your own, especially when electric's gone off as well, bloody hell. I haven't felt too lonely, to be fair. I've enjoyed it, to be fair, as well. We just need some fish. That's the only thing that's doing me at the minute, isn't it? If I blank, I blank. I don't think I will, but if I do, innit? You can't change anything. We've got some good conditions for here. It's flattened off lovely. If there was still a really big swell on, I'd be like thinking we ain't got a chance, but there isn't. I think we've got a chance of anything today. Obviously, I want a tote really, but we'll put both rods on pulley rigs when it starts, just before it breaks down. Pulley rigs and big baits. We'll see how we get on. Fingers crossed something shows, like I say. I'm happy just to get a decent session, after yesterday. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. It's not much of a special video if there's no fish, is it? First fish, get in. Small loss, about £5 probably. On the old running ledger rig. Next bait up, fish on, get on. I didn't bother going down for I just lifted her up straight up the lip of the drop. Nice little fish. We'll get her up, get a picture with her and get my rod back out, get her back and get sorted. Nice one. Feisty, nice little sod she is. Bless her, lovely little fish. There she is then. She's definitely £6. A bit bigger than I thought actually, only slightly. We'll get her put back. Thank you, dear. She's calmed down a little bit. Get her put back, try again for another second fish of the session. I've just lost one on the surface as well. Bit bigger that one. I think I've got a bite of a rod. Can't keep rods in water. Every bait up so far I've had a bite or a fish. Get in. That's shit now, guys. Double take. Get on. After fishing in the storm yesterday, then to get this double take, I was absolutely delighted. One of them was half decent. I had a picture with it and it weighed £10 9 ounces. As you can see, I'm pretty happy. I was ecstatic, really. Gives it a bit of an adrenaline buzz. Right, I managed to get both rods re-rated up and banged back out. That was just a mental 20-minute spell there where I had 2 fish. Well, probably 5-minute spell, should I say, because it one after the other while I was looking one, the other rod going off. I knew the other rod was going off, so I brought it down just to see if it's carried on while I was dealing with the first one I caught. Yeah, then now I've moved everything down onto the bottom ledge because it's really difficult to land stuff. It's like sea's calmer than what I thought it was going to be. So I'm just having a brew, but talk about adrenaline pumping. That's what you want when you're night fish. You want it to be busy. Every bait up so far, I've had a bite. I've lost 2 fish, and I've had 3 fish. So I've had 5 bait ups. One's bait 6 and 7 now on the rods that are out. It's pretty good going, isn't it? I mean, I've just lost half hour there because I've had to rebait both rods. I've had to bring stuff down. You know, there might have been 10 huts knocking about, and I've knocked 3 off. Could have been 5, but hey, I'm thinking that first fish that I lost were possibly a huss, but it felt decent, whatever it was. It gave me a right big head shake, you know, on the first bait up. So at the minute, we've had 3 huss. The biggest one was on the pulley rig at £10.9. The other 2 I haven't weighed, they were below 10. But they've been on the ledger rig on a smaller bait, so. And we're not even at the stage of tide where I usually get huss on here, so fingers crossed. I think there's a chance for anything happening this morning. You know, that buzz, the adrenaline of getting them huss, it just leads you to think there's still a chance of tope for some reason. If there's fish feeding on here, there's food, isn't there? So it's what you want when you're night fishing. You know, I'm about 3/4 of a mile away from civilization. I'm out on my own on a rock ledge. I fished down on this mark all my life, and I've had a lot of anxiety when I've come through. To be fair, you know, being on my own and stuff, but I've dealt with it. Really, I've dealt with it superbly. Like I said, I think I'm a lot tougher than what I give myself credit for. You know, the doubts are just there, but you can do stuff that you know you can do. It's like talking to one of my friends. He knows what I'm on about. You know, we're just on about how nice it is just to have someone at home, isn't it? Sometimes, you know, someone to go back to break the silence and stuff. I've been used to that since 2005, pretty much, on and off. Um, you know, it'd give me if Nick went bungalow now, it'd make me feel massively more confident and at ease and stuff. Um, but I think in reality, there's nothing to worry about as long as you've got contact with the outside world and stuff. It's sound. I haven't even got any electric. It's like I look back to Aberdaron when I come out this morning in the village. It's just pitch black. It's like blackout. So yeah, I'm buzzed up to hell with that. What's just happened this morning? It's really done that anxiety of the world a good. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Loving life. Cheers. All right, we'll see what happens now. Anyway, I've dropped everything down to the lower ledge, like I say. Start going through my mind now. Is it the angle of your line hitting water, and how does your rig present any differently when there's less line in the water? Instead of click. Might be tied on that. Well, I'm not sure because it's going left on one and right on click. We'll see anyway. Yeah. When you're busy like that, that's what you need when you're night fishing when you're solo. You know, dawn's just breaking over there. I think it's about 5:30, 5:45, but the sky is lightening up over there, even though it doesn't get light till about 7:30, 8. When you break it down, I don't know whether I'm just mad for it or stupid. You know, with fishing, I think you've got to be a bit of both, haven't you? To do this, you have anyway. But yeah, top tip to anyone: if you fish marks where you think there could be bull huss, and you don't get anything in daylight, always fish in the depths of the night when there's no moon. Because the nocturnal feeders really, but you can get them in daylight. Obviously, you can catch plenty in daylight, even on the brightest sunny days. But I think as a general rule of thumb, most of the better catches that I've had have been in darkness. I think I'm starting to get the accolade of the Hussmaster, the Aberdaron Hussmaster. Certainly not the Tope Master. But the way I look at it is, if you're catching fish, you're doing something right, aren't you? I think a lot of stuff just gets overthought. I've gone back to single O'Shaughnessy's, and the nail every else you catch. Most of my tope have been on single O'Shaughnessy's. You don't need to use 2 hooks on rough ground, I don't think. Why use 2 when you can? Why lose 2 hooks when you can just lose 1 in it? If a fish picks your bait up with any gusto and it's having it, it's getting hooked on a single no matter what. Great. Drink my brew, have a minute, keep an eye on these rods and see what happens. I'll be having a bait change shortly. Number 4, another nice little fish. Probably just under a double. Yeah, it's probably about, it might be a bit smaller than just under a double. That'd be about 8 pounds. It's a girl again, I think. Oh, it's a male, that one. Nice male us. Feisty little sod. Beautiful fish. Get him put back. And bang on it. But again, 100% record on bites to bait ratio, bait ups. So yeah, get in. Come on. 5, only a small one. Get him up, get him put back. Plus number 5. Should turn my head touch off. Bit of blood on this one, some carb. Should be, I think it's a female, yeah, she'll be alright. Have a nice little fish, probably about 6. Get it put back. Breaking dawn, guys, now. Big time. It's 7:30, 3 hours of us zoomed by. 5 us. I've had some cracking bites. The last us, I'm not kidding you. I thought it were going to scream off, and it was only a small us. Just shows you, if you pick it up inside, but they've just been so feisty tonight. You know, like when they're on it, it's really difficult to unhook because they're twisting around. Yeah, it's been a superb session so far. You know, I'm limited what I can catch off these ledges. I am, you know. I think anything too spectacular, it's, you know, I think a lot of time your bait's going to, if there's any fish feeding, it's going to be huss or congers, isn't it, or dogfish on these marks. I've had a couple of dodgy bites. Like the last, I was thinking, I had the running ledger rig out, which I was now swapped. Before I swapped it, I'd left it out for a while. I was thinking, no, there'll be no bait left on that by now. Anyway, I think I caught huss number 4 or 5 on the other rod, on the pulley rig. And I'd already baited a pulley rig up ready to reel that in. But because I caught a fish, I just whipped it off and put the fresh rig on there, but while the huss was in the rock pool to unhook. Anyway, I've unhooked the huss, put it back, and then the rod with the running ledger rig off is like, give a really dodgy, like, thump, 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 or whatever. But at the same time, it's took quite a bit of line off and carried on doing it. And I've struck, there's a little bit of a head shake, and then there's nothing. Was it a bull huss? Possibly. Surprised though we didn't get up with it being a small bait, that's all. And a smaller hook, 6-0. So, yeah. We just lost a bit of time when we had that double hookup, you know, messing about with photos, bringing it up gear down onto the lower ledge. But, oh well. It's been a reasonably successful session. I think the best huss session I've had, I think 5. I think it's 5 in a session. I'm just getting another bite here. Looks like a huss. I might be breaking that here. I need to get 6 in a session to break my record. Again, it's a good bite. It's not committed to it yet, but it nearly pulled initial pickup. It like, there's no point in spinning it around. I haven't even got tip lights on. We'll see if it develops into anything anyway. Beautiful. It hasn't come back, that fish. It might come back to it in a minute. No, it hasn't developed, should I say, that bite I just said on camera a minute ago. Beautiful sunrise. That's not bad, is it? You're in shot at least. Yeah, it's kicked off big time. Like, I'm getting some really tentative bites. I don't know if the huss or what. When you pick the rod up, it feels like a huss. You know, like how you get that. I'm trying to do a sound effect. We know it's like they're tearing at the bait, isn't it, shaking their head. It's happened 3 or 4 times, and they took a bit of line off as well. Not powerful like a tope or anything like that. I'm just wondering whether to put the smaller rig back out, you know, the running ledger. I don't know. Yeah, not a bad backdrop, is it, for time of year? Nice to have a settled session after yesterday. Yeah, I'm hoping to bring you a fish stick camera, but I was getting a bite on one at Rod, so I thought I'll put camera on in a decent place where you might be able to see a bit of action. Typically, stopped. Never mind. Baiting some rigs. Got half a mackerel there, half a small mackerel, plus a full mackerel there with a bit of squid on it. Let's see if we can find these out. I reckon one of these might do us if there's any taupe here, one of these will be the ones. I found out what them fish were as well that were giving the dodgy bites. Bloody strapped congers. I dropped one on the surface just a minute ago. I think we'll be about another out. 2 more bait ups, I think, then we'll call it. Obviously anything could happen in the next, obviously anything can happen in the next sort of couple of bait ups, but if it don't, I'm happy to go out with 5 us in a session, I think. I dropped a strap conger as well, which I'm not bothered about. Had my adrenaline fix, if you like, when I had 2 us out in that rock pool just below me on a double take. Surprised about anything else, because the thing is, since it's broke down, everything's just gone quiet. And you if you saw I don't know if you can make it out on camera, you probably can't. But I think you should be able to. When I did that pan round of the lower ledge that I'm stood on, the water's chocolate coloured. It's that bad that even the rock pools that have been rinsed out with fresh seawater, they're chocolate coloured as well. That right hand rod on the last section of the video, when I said it's giving a nod, it's still doing that. It's just a crappy little bite. It looks like a conger or something like that, a small conger. Shuddering a bit. I mean, after a tough session in part 1, I think to have come down here and just been getting fish, and I've had bites more or less on every single bait, so I'm quite happy about that. I think that's been a success. Oh, we're getting a bit more solid interest, but again, it's not as the hosts that I were getting earlier. They absolutely were smashing my baits to bits. They weren't messing about. I'm just going to let this bite develop. It is looking like it could be worth striking on, to be honest. It's very jerky, very crappy little strappy like. Right, I'm going to hit into it. Look at nothing, my lead was stuck. I'm pretty sure we all know what's done that. Mr. Conger Eel. Well, Mr. Strappy. The pain in the arse I've been since it's got light. I might put the running ledger rig back on this one actually, because it's working quite well. That I'm going to do, I think. Just some rocks just down here. Just for a quick one. Right, so I'll show you this running ledger rig rigged up in daylight. So I've got 2/3 of a mackerel tail section. Well, 2/3 of a mackerel, the tail section, should I say. 2.5 foot, 200 pound mono. 700 Shaughnessy is a hook pattern with a paper clip on it to secure it. It holds out really well in that bait. 2.5 foot, 200 pound mono to a power swivel onto my main line. And we've got a bead, just a buffer bead, to protect the knot, your main line knot onto your swivel. You've got a smaller swivel, you can use any swivel really. You can use a zip slider if you want to. I've got 25 pound mono onto a 7-ounce lead. I've just tied I've tied an overhand knot in the mono there on my lead so it can break out. This is what I was brought up on. This is how I used to fish all the time. You can use shock leaders if you want to use a shock. If you wish, it helps with landing fish. But if it's calm and you're new to rock fishing, you're just giving it a go. Don't bother with a shock leader. And I know some people say, oh, yeah, you do. Look, if there's people around you, you definitely do. If you're fishing solo or in a group of 2 and you're not compressing your rod, you don't really need a shock leader on. I'm going to show you now, but you don't. It's not something that if you're fishing on a beach, you won't fish like that. You do want shock leaders on. If you're fishing on a busy pier, you want shock leaders on. If you're out in the middle of nowhere on a rock ledge, it's not 100% necessary if you're just having a go. I'd fish 30 pound main line straight through at least, 30 to 40 pound main line straight through. And all you're looking to do is just give it a gentle lob, 50 yards off the rock face. I'll show you now what I mean. I don't know if you'll get it all. Try and get it all in. Basically, I've got a shock leader on this, but it's not really for the cast. I ain't got anything on my lead. You can get rotten bottom clips that you can put on that swivel and hook your lead on if you're a bit unsure about it flicking off. But if you're not compressing your rod, you're just giving it a gentle lob. Right? And I'm just giving it a gentle lob. You don't need shock leaders on and all the clips and snazzy bits. Just give it a gentle lob. Bosh, let it have a run. Yeah, just give it a gentle lob. And you fish it. Keep checking your weak link on your lead in between bait hooks, and you'll be sound. Yeah. Good thing about a multiplier is you can feel it when it's the bottom of your lead. If you thumb the spool, you can feel it when it's the bottom. I'll just tighten up my rod rest so this rod can't spin around it when I get a bite. No, a multiplier rod can't spin around in it. So we can't spin round if I get a bite or whatever. But yeah, that's just an example of a basic rig. And you can come down to 4 ounce if you really wanted to, if you're worried about it. If it's not rough ground, fish your lead clipped in to the on your get a snap crane interlock swivel you want, and run your lead on one of them. But that's the basic of the basic rig for rock fishing. That's what I was brought up on. If you get snagged up with your lead, it breaks out. If you get a fish on, you've got a hook length to pull at. When it's rough, it's quite hard if you haven't got a shock leader on for landing fish. The shock leaders for me are more useful for landing fish than anything else. That's why I only started using shock leaders about 5 years ago after losing some fish. It wasn't down to cracking off. I wouldn't be casting a full I wouldn't be casting a full mackerel out without a shock leader, right? Yeah. That's just the basic rig. I mean, you could rig it up if you wanted to. You could put 70 pound, 60 pound braid on your reel straight through. I'm getting a bite straight away on that rod rig that I've just cast out. But it's another strappy little bastard conger. That one I've just lobbed out, I'm getting a bite straight away. That'd be a good example of right weights, wouldn't it? Because there will be someone, when you put stuff out there like that about shock leaders, they'll have to have the 2 penneth worth about safety, which is fine. But you won't start pendulum casting or swinging one with 9 ounce on that, with that set up. Oh, it's happening. Oh. It's having a little go, guys. It's something small looking about. Oh, it might be a huss actually. Oh, it might be a huss. I think it's just come off again. Oh, might be on actually. We're on. Fish on. It's only a small one, whatever it is. There's definitely something on though. Might be a small scrappy. Oh, it's difficult to say actually. Oh, it just doing us, it just spat up on surface. You fast through it. So that would have been, you just spat the hook. So when I picked it up, that was snagged up. Honestly, that would have been a perfect example of how this rig works. That overhand knot that I tied in it, it's broke out on that, the lead. It was snagged up the lead. The fish has probably failed to hook up because the bait's quite big for it. But we'll put a smaller bait on now and we'll have a go. But that proves you don't need to cast far off these rock ledges at all to get fish. Right, I think that last bait up's I'd possibly say, unless we get a fish. It's been a highly successful morning, really. I just wish I'd capitalised when I had the double hook up, because it put me out of action for about 40 minutes there. By the time I'd moved my gear down to the bottom ledge because I struggled to land both fish and rebaited rods and stuff. And obviously when you're doing a YouTube channel and stuff, you've got social media, the photographs, the video footage, it all adds up. It's probably cost me another couple of fish there, which is a shame really. But I'm happy, yeah, I'm happy. That rig I would have shown you there as well, there's pros and cons of it, because if you haven't got a leader on and you snap out on bottom, you're not leaving 14 metres or whatever it is, a shock leader on the seabed just flapping about. It's a bit better for environment, that. O'Shaughnessy hooks seem to rust a lot quicker than the nickel plated, the coated, is it nickel coated hooks? I don't know, the ones that have got the black coating on. They seem to rust quicker. I know that for a fact, because I've put my rigs back after 2 months and the O'Shaughnessy's have been more or less rusted through. They've like been missing the barbs or whatever. And also when you put them in your tackle box wet, they rust quicker than the rest of them. So it's good from that point of view. The hookups are better as well. When you're taking the hooks out, the better with the O'Shaughnessy hooks. With the nickel hooks, is it whatever they are, the black coated ones like I'm on about. When you're hooking fish, sometimes they bend, sometimes they snap, and you can't just reuse them. With the O'Shaughnessy ones, you have to put quite a bit of pressure on to bend them. Some people disagree with me, but that's fine. And also, like your splashdowns and stuff, they don't break down. The metal on them's stainless steel, and every time I've hooked a rig back of mine from I think I hooked some back from February in August, the splashdown was fully intact. It's not good for the seabed, that is it. Your imps and stuff like that, they'll break down a lot quicker, I'd imagine. The metal on them, I'd imagine, would. And certainly the plastic will. It's just things to bear in mind. You can't just be a fisherman and just not give a toss about stuff like that. So it might be a case of simplifying some rigs through winter to keep costs down and to minimise gear on the seabed. Bit gutted I lost that last suss. That'd have been some section of video, wouldn't it, showing you that rig and then getting a fishing on it. We'll keep going anyway and see what happens. Right, this is last bait up for 2024 in North Wales. We've got a juicy mackerel and squid bait. I'm just going to trim the back end of that off. Just a sec. Just wait, spewing out the elastic. Mended 24 in with a decent session at least. I always think you can do better though, you know what I mean? Alright, you can do better. The fishery, you will do better, it's simple as that, mate. That's the last bait, I'm just about to send that out. So we're probably going to be topless in 24, but I'll keep believing, right to the final whistle. Right, didn't give me a bite, I've just cast that last bait up out. I've reeled the other rod in to tackle it down. And that, I think, is going to be a PB. I'm going to give her away, have a picture with him, put her back. Right, I'm just going to zero out scales. It might not quite be a PB, it could be though. Could be. It's a bloody nice fish, that. When I reeled it in, I just saw its cob come part water. I'm like, bloody hell, that's a big one. Well, bigger, should I say. I never give myself any credit, you know what I mean? What I do. Oh, by the way, that's the most I've had out in a session now. Right, so £1.9. Zeroed it off. Don't know if you can see that. It's going to show some negativity because I put the sling down, but yeah, it's zeroed. Definitely zeroed. Let's get him in it. Oh, hair in it. I think. Oh, it's a boy. It's a male huss. Absolute cracker. Yeah, it's going to be a good 11. That. I I think it's £11.8 or £11.9 my PB. I might just be getting excited about nothing here. I am. It's about bang dead 10, I think. It's flickering between. Might not quite do 10. Oh, it is 10, dead 10. Don't know if you can see that. That is a nice fish. It looks bigger than the one that I had that were 10.8. 10.9, I mean. Stunning fish. Look at him. Absolute stunner. Beautiful horse. His eyes on it are absolutely stunning. That's the best fish of the day, and it's not even the biggest. Look at him. Absolutely pristine huss, that. What a lovely fish that is. Champion. Right, let's get a picture with him. See, he's just lifted a bit as it's coming in. It's not coming in with any pace though, because it's a small tide. We're nearly 3 hours after low now. So, almost time to get off. The swell hasn't been too bad at all. Got a bit of sunlight on the horizon. You can see, because the wind's blowing northerly, you can see some real lifts out there. If you look to the horizon, you can see some like bumps on the horizon because of the big sea with the wind. So, all the big swells caused by the wind. Yeah, I'm just got the one rod out for now. Winding the session down. Quite happy. 6 huss in a session. I think that's a PB best. 6 huss in a session. And they've been bang at it. I probably could have had another 4 or 5 to be fair, but yeah, bang at it. Happy. Good way to end the year if we don't get a tote. Not bad at all. I've just lost another huss on the surface. I've had 2 more bait ups. This is the second one since I caught the huss on. Since I put the last bait up out on the last bait up rod, if you like. I've just lost one on the surface. I put another bait out. We've got 10 minutes left. Everything's packed away apart from this rod, and then we'll be getting off. So this will definitely be the last gas for 2024 in North Wales. Get in. I'm back up now. We'll just have a quick tide up, then back off to Doncaster. I always come away from sessions feeling that I could have done better, but I think sometimes I've got to say I've done quite well really this morning. It's my best huss session, that 6 in a session. I should have had more. Should have had 10, easy 10. But I was using tote rigs one really, other than that running ledger rig. My preferred us hook setup is a J-hook at back and a small circle on bottom. But you don't seem to lose as many fish doing that for some reason. But I think what happened was after a low tide and it got light, because it's a small tide, there wasn't any tide run hardly, and they weren't hammering the baits like they were sort of 3 hours into ebb, if you like, or 3 hours before low tide. I think that's why we were getting a lot of tentative bites, tentative pickups. I think 90% of them were huss. I lost a couple of huss on the surface. I even lost a conger on the surface. The last huss I lost, I was gutted, but we had some really quality fish there. Delighted with a double hookup, just a bit of adrenaline boost, the confidence boost. Yeah, we're doing everything right still. Right out of the tote this year. Had one dodgy run, which spat it up basically. Well, it didn't even get up. So it picked the bottom of the bait up and tore off on a dongle, which I was disappointed about, obviously. But we'll keep going, obviously. I mentioned in part 1, if you watched part 1, about rigs, a rig that I'd hooked back. I think I lost this in August. And it had either I think it was it was either a dongle or a pennel, but both hooks have gone, look. That's where I Flemish tied it on. This is AFW again. There's not much damage to the wire at all. Splashdown. It's been out there since August, so what's that? We're in December now. That's 4 months nearly. It'd have been because I think it was end of August. Splashdown is still kind of usable as well, which really ain't good, is it? Yeah, so that's what I hooked back on the Husmark yesterday. So yeah, right, plan is get home and we're going to fish the Humber, I think, on Friday night. Oh, see what happens from there. But absolutely love this weekend. Still got no electric. I wonder if you claim for stuff in your freezer, like, or what? I've had to let a load of mackerel go, leave a load of mackerel down at Rocks today because they were going soft. You know, before I even got down there. No good for refreezing. They'd have been still frozen probably if they'd have frozen when I went down. So, yeah, frustrating with that, but it's made the weekend even more enjoyable in a weird way because we've been off grid as well, completely off grid. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this. We've had some fish. I want a bit of a downer in part one, I think, and overthinking a lot of stuff, but just keep doing what works. Running ledger rig works, obviously. You've seen that. Someone will probably put on, you should be using a shock leader. Right, yeah, that's fine, whatever. Shock leaders, though, were sure they were introduced originally for beach fishing, weren't they? In matches or like long distance casting off beaches. But I don't think they were really, when people started using shock leaders originally, or whoever invented shock leaders, should I say, I don't think they were for rough ground rock marks, were they really, if you're being honest? So, yeah. Right. Because, sorry, just going on with that. Because when you're fishing rough ground rock marks, you want to, if you snagged, you want to be getting out of that bottom quickly and leaving as little gear on the bottom as possible. Yeah, right. So that's it then. 6 plus. Should have had more. Happy on the back of that storm. As we're coming out of the storm, it's fished its nuts off. Went bites all session. Just happy. I thought I might have got a PB, but I didn't, as you've seen in camera in footage. Yeah, still buzzing. Going to enjoy the drive home, and we'll see you in the next one on Friday on the Humber. Get on. Let's have it. See you later. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching the last 2 videos. Part 1 was a struggle. Part 2, we got there in the end. Just like to say a big thank you to everyone that subscribes, comments, likes, and supports the channel. Thanks to anyone that's subscribed recently too, that's new to the channel. Anyone that's watching from afar that is yet to subscribe, just like you to consider subscribing. Thanks again. Hope you've enjoyed both videos.